Hey y'all, I'm Pickleburger, and this is Plants vs. Zombies walkthrough, levels 1 through 5. If you're planning on playing along, now would be a great time to load the app, and let's get started. The first few levels are very simple, just so you can get the basics of the game. You don't want to plant your pea shooters very far forward, because zombies are going to try to eat through them. And if your plant takes too much damage, it dies. So you're going to want to put them decently far back. You can keep planting pea shooters, but there's really no point. 2 will take them out pretty quick. And then you're going to pick up your first seed packet, which is the sunflower. And we're on to level 2. We now have 3 rows. Now the game is going to tell you to plant at least 3 sunflowers. I would agree, but in quick levels, when you don't have a lot of time, you can plant 2 and normally be just fine to start. For this level, you're going to plant all 3. You want them in the back so that they're well protected. And then whichever row your first zombie shows up in, whatever lane your first zombie shows up in, you're going to place a pea shooter in the 3rd row in that lane. And then you're going to plant another sunflower. It doesn't matter where you put it, they'll be well protected. By the time your next zombie comes, you should have enough sun to be able to plant your next pea shooter. And then you're going to plant another sunflower. I'll use this planting pattern for most levels. It allows you to put up a good first line of defenses while also filling out your sunflower. It's good to have 2 rows, so you always have an excess of sun because you don't want to have too little. And then you're just going to start a 2nd row of pea shooters once you have the sun. You'll notice on our progress bar, we're getting pretty close to the final wave. At this point, I'm pretty much done with this level. These 2 rows will be able to take out any zombies that come through. But if you'd like to, of course, you can continue planting. Alright, your next seed packet is one of my least favorite in the whole game. It's the cherry bomb. They can be fun and also useful, but they're very expensive. On to level 3. You'll notice as we pan to the right this time, there are zombies with cones on their head. We're going to start out planting our sunflowers while I talk about the cone heads. Basically, it's an armored zombie. It takes twice as many hits to kill. And is mildly annoying. Alright, so you'll notice, even though I have a zombie coming in, I've planted a sun. But now that I have 100, he's going in the third row, in whatever lane my first zombie shows up. And that'll still give him plenty of time to kill the zombie. We're going to put down another sunflower. This whole game is about timing and resources. So you'll notice here's my next zombie, and I have exactly 100 sun. We're going to plant down another sunflower. And there is our first full row of shooters. The last sunflower we're going to plant for this round. And now we're just going to continue to build pea shooters. You can start in whichever row you'd like. And between the sun that naturally falls and what your sunflowers are producing, you should have plenty. When your first cone head shows up, you're going to want to place down and make sure that you have 2 shooters in that row as quickly as possible. A single pea shooter takes 8 blocks to kill a cone head, and it takes just 4 to kill a regular zombie. So with 2 pea shooters, we're able to reduce that time to kill a regular zombie to 2 blocks, and the time it takes to kill a cone head to 3 to 4. If I had continued adding pea shooters, that time would get shorter. You'll notice I haven't used a cherry bomb yet. Mainly they blow up a large area, so it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use them in the middle of a level when you only have a few zombies on the field. But I will use one so you can see what it looks like. You're going to place it down. It's taking a minute to explode, and it'll blow up the zombies in the adjacent squares. This is our next seed. It's a walnut, and basically this is like a shield. Your zombies sit and eat it. It has a very high health. We'll go on to level 4. As I was saying, your zombies will sit and eat walnuts so that they do not eat the plants that are actively shooting them. We're going to start with our sun in the back row again. And by now you'll have noticed, likely, that I plant everything in rows of 5, or however many rows I have at the time. This is so that no matter what row a zombie shows up in, I'm ready to defend it. We're going to plant another sunflower. As always, the order you build things in will slightly differ from mine because of where your zombies will start and pop up. I'm going to start a second row of sunflower, as usual. Now, some of you might get very worried about this zombie that doesn't have anybody shooting him. I have enough sun now because I've completed at least a row that I can do this and just put one up, and it should still have enough time to kill him. But I'm going to start placing walnuts in this row. That would be row 5. Walnuts take a very long time to load, and so the sooner you start placing them, the more of them you'll get placed. At this point, you should be producing plenty of sun. You shouldn't really ever have to wait to plant anything, because you should have enough resources. As soon as your next walnut's ready, feel free to just plant it. So when you finish this level, the goal is to have 2 rows of sunflowers, then 2 rows of pea shooters, and then a row of walnuts. If you don't get the walnuts done, it's not the end of the world. With 2 rows of pea shooters, you'll take out cone heads just fine. But it's just good to have some extra security and to get used to planting them and how long they take to load. We're about to start final wave. Obviously, you could do this level with just 1 row of sunflower. And you could use that extra money to start planting walnuts much earlier. But it's not a super difficult level, and you should be just fine without walnuts. And then you're going to pick up a shovel. Level 5. So this is Crazy Dave. He's your neighbor. He's more helpful further along. So you can tap the shovel, tap a plant, or you can tap and drag. Either way, you're going to want to remove all of them. Crazy Dave's going to hand you a walnut, and you're going to see this pop up on your screen, this little conveyor belt. Instinct is going to be to just start throwing walnuts. Don't. Wait for the zombies to get 2 to 3 blocks in before you do, because you want the walnut seeds to build up so that you're not running out of them. Then we're going to start just throwing them. You'll notice the red walnuts. Those are explosive. You can use them, but I prefer to save them for the final wave. You'll notice a cone head. He takes 2 to knock out. If you wait for the next wave to come in behind, you can bounce walnuts off of him and hit other zombies. This also allows your seed packets to build up. I know a lot of people have a hard time with this level. Most of the time, it's because they aren't patient enough to let the seed packets build up, and then they don't have what they need to take out zombies when they have it. As long as you're patient, you shouldn't have an issue. As we get closer to the final wave, you'll notice that about half of my seed packets are explosives. Zombies will start coming more in groups, and it's very tempting to use explosives, but I would not recommend it. Alright. I know they're getting to the lines, but you don't really need to worry about that, as long as you knock them off before they get to the lawnmowers. Now we're going to start using explosives. And they blow up nicely. And suddenly you're done. This is a potato mine, but levels 6 through 10 are in the next video. So if you'd like to come back and you enjoyed the video, feel free to watch my next set and the rest of this series. That was levels 1 through 5. Like and comment down below.